Hey loves, it's your girl Mariah Sincere, and I am back with another bomb live. For those of y'all who are new to my channel, I'm a self-love coach who specializes in helping people radically transform their lives. I've done so with my life at the beginning of 2024. I didn't like where I was at. In 6 months, I made a plan and I moved to Medellin, Colombia. So I'm coming at y'all live from Colombia. Huge announcement. My website will be up within the next 2 weeks. It's done. We're just kind of finalizing some things with my schedule. And from my website, you will be able to book a life coaching session with me. You can also book conversational Spanish classes if you want to travel to Latin America. I got you. And you'll also be able to book tours with me if you happen to come to Colombia. So that will be up soon. But until then, if you have any questions, hit me up at ThePassportSis@gmail.com. Now that we got that out the way, guys, the trial of the century has begun. The long anticipated Diddy trial. Now, I got a little bit to report on it. I'm actually going to take a different angle here. I want to talk about the LeBron James situation in terms of him kind of getting into it a little bit with Kevin Gates, because I think that Kevin Gates was trying to tell us something. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to be talking about this interview that Tiny's daughter Zonique did, in which she basically confirmed what King was saying, that their grandparents raised him. Remember, we went in on King about his behavior. He's calmed down a lot since he became a father. But remember, we was going in on King. Well, Zonique has come out saying the exact same things that King was saying, confirming the things he was saying, and also saying how she kind of missed out on having her mom around because her mom was too busy chasing it behind T.I. But before we talk about that, before we get to Diddy, before we get to Tiny, I actually do want to touch on a topic that interested me. And especially while I wait for some people to get in here. Hopefully y'all can hear me. But yes, I'm going to get into the situation. So there was a Black woman who moved to Africa, right? So she moved to Africa and she was like, I'm ready to come home. I'm going to show y'all the video so that y'all can see. And I want to talk about some of the pitfalls of moving abroad that African American people can fall into if they are not careful, especially if you are going to Africa. Now, with that said, I know I have some people that watch me from Africa. It's no shade. It's no shade. We know that Africa is a beautiful continent. My daughter's father is from Africa, so my daughter is half Ethiopian. I love that culture. I love Ethiopian food. Each country in Africa is different. The culture is different. The traditions are different. Okay, so understand that when I am talking about Africa, I know that it's not the same all across the continent. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to pull up the video. If you're just now coming in, please hit the like button. Y'all, I save way too much content. This don't make no sense. Why do I save all of this stuff on Instagram? That makes absolutely no sense. You know what? I think I have that video saved on TikTok. Oh, here we go. Again, if you are just now coming in, please hit the like button. That helps people know that I'm on live. I'm about to share my screen. So the title of this reads, African American woman moves to Ghana and shares her experience. Thoughts. This is from To The Point 267 on Instagram.
To America and deal with the racism in America before I sit here in Africa and deal with the bullshit bribery, the bullshit fraud, the bullshit scams, the bullshit too expensive, the bullshit not having no snacks, the bullshit not having no food, the bullshit electricity, the bullshit hot water, the bullshit what's that shit called that be coming down? The bullshit animals, it's scorpions outside the house, it's big ass spiders, it's big ass lizards, colorful lizards you ain't never seen before, all in the fucking room with you, sleeping with you. All the bullshit people trying to scam you when you go outside thinking you rich, so they trying to get more money off of you. I'm really trying to wrap my head around this shit. I'm really trying to wrap my head around how are Americans coming to Africa and being happy. Please comment down below, because for me, I'm ready to go. And I always used to say, if it's up to me, it will be. And I'm going to go out to Africa and make shit happen. No, I don't want to. I want to take my businesses back to America. I want to open up shop back in America, open up my dentist office, and all the stuff that I was going to do out here in America. Steady electricity. And the only time our electricity get cut off is when we don't pay the bill. And we got it so good now, we got prepaid electricity. So if we forget to pay the bill, we put some money on that prepaid thing and it comes right back on in 2 minutes. In less than 2 minutes. This shit right here didn't come on for 14 hours yesterday. I can't deal. I love the people. Don't get me wrong. When I'm outside, I'm having fun. I love people. But when I come back to reality, when you come back home, home is where the heart is, right? When you come back home, you're supposed to feel comfortable. You're supposed to be happy. I'm not happy. To live in a house where you look outside and all you see is turkeys and ducks and chickens and sheep and old malnourished cows. I'd rather go back to America.
So, first of all, let me say hey to y'all. What's up, DJ Batman? First in the chat. Good to see you, brother. What's up, Jamal? Good to see you. I told you I was coming on tonight. All right, now if y'all are just now coming in, please hit the like button. Now, let me say this. I'm about to go through everything that she said, item by item, because it's not like sis is lying. And it's not like what she is saying is exclusive to if you move to Africa. Now, let me say this. I feel like if you are going to move to a country whose economy is not as good as in the United States, I feel like you need to know how to struggle a little bit, just a little bit. For example, the infrastructure, right? You might go somewhere and the internet is not as good. Now, me personally, here in Colombia, to me, my internet here, even though I have some trouble, it's faster. When it's good, it's faster than the internet in the United States. But there are certain things, like for example, if you move to Puerto Rico, you're going to have to deal with power outages that might last for days. St. Thomas is a beautiful island, baby, but the way WAPA is set up, you better make sure that you have a generator, okay? So you need to be able to know how to struggle a little bit. Luckily for me, this kind of stuff is just regular stuff because I grew up poor. Baby, I'm used to going days without lights in the house. I'm used to going days with no foods in the house. Okay, so for me, this is not nothing crazy. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through what she said item by item. I'm gonna say this. If you are an African American person and you decide that you want to leave the United States because of racism, that is the dumbest possible reason that you could possibly leave the United States. Why? Because just because you go back to return to the motherland doesn't mean that they view you as their people. That doesn't mean they're going to treat you bad, but that also doesn't mean that they view you as family the way that you think that they do. You have to understand, in Africa, they have different cultures. There's tribalism. Some groups don't get along with other groups. Okay, so thinking that people are going to welcome you back home with open arms is foolish behavior. Honestly and truly, y'all have to understand that the rest of the world does not view race the way that we view race. It's not about the skin color. It's about culture, customs, traditions, and where you're from. Furthermore, like I had to explain to somebody before, when you move abroad, an American is an American. They don't really too much make no difference between a white American and a black American. You are American, boo. And yes, you are going to go to some countries and some places where people feel like because you're American, you are rich. People genuinely think that American citizens don't struggle. When I tell them there are Americans who can't afford to pay their light bill, who don't eat, who live in cars, who live on the streets, when I tell people that here in Colombia, they're like, really? People think that we all got it like that, especially if they're from a country that receives some type of foreign aid. They feel like we just got money to give out. So they don't care about you coming to Africa talking about how bad the white folks are in America and have sympathy. To them, you are still privileged. So y'all need to get out of that mentality. If you talking Africa right now, you need to be talking about my boy Ibrahim Toure of Burkina Faso. Okay, I saw that Austin Holloman put out a video on that. I have to do my research because honestly, I don't know who this person is. Okay, it interested me. I almost watched the video today, but I got busy. But I will put that on my to-do list to research that. Okay. What's up, DW Blaze? This is my first time seeing you. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm trying to squint. I'm trying to see if you are a man or a woman so I can address you right. I can't really see that well. I'm sorry, but it's good to see you here. I feel like it looks like you have long hair. I don't want to call you a woman and you a man. It looks like you got some long hair. What's up, Intelligent Hood Genius? Mariah, this video is 4 years old. That girl is still in Africa. Well, if she's still there, good for her, right? But this was more so about the mentality, not necessarily about her as an individual. Because again, and I've been seeing a lot of people say this, especially since Trump got back in office. Oh, it's time to lead the United States. Oh, it's time. Black people, you'll do better in Africa, baby. The way them West African scammers is set up, you are not ready. You are not ready, especially the ladies. I'm gonna tell you, y'all are the most vulnerable, baby, because the way these men will sweet talk you up out of some money, why they go spend it on their African wives? No, that's the wrong reason why. You need to do your research. So let me go through what she is saying item by item. What's up? I'm a man. Okay. Thank you for telling me, sir. What the F? You don't know who he is. He's the best leader in the world right now and is on the front line of fighting the West. He's already survived 20 plus assassination attempts. I'll be honest, Jamal. I know some things about African politics, but I have a blind side there. I'm more versed in American politics. And when I say like American, I mean North American, Central American, and South American politics. I know more about Asian politics than I do African politics. I'll be honest. I know some things, and Africa is such a diverse country. It really is a continent. I'm sorry, it's such a diverse continent with so many different cultures. It's kind of like it's hard to keep up, but I should do better. Y'all hit the like button if you're just now coming in, please. She caught a body in Tanzania. Oh no. So let me go through what she's saying.
And deal with the racism in America before I sit here in Africa and deal with the bullshit bribery, the bullshit fraud, the bullshit scams, the bullshit too expensive, the bullshit not having.
Okay, now with the scams and potential robbery, again, that is not unique to Ghana. That's going to be anywhere in the world that you go to as an American and the economy is worse than the US economy. You have to be very leery of scams. For example, if you come to Colombia, don't rent an apartment off the internet. Don't rent from people that you don't know, that aren't credible, that haven't been vetted through other expats. Baby, they will take 6 months worth of rent and run off with it so quick. And you have to understand there's no empathy or no sympathy for you as an American. They think you're rich And there's no explaining that you can do to convince them otherwise. And even then, even if they can see you're not rich, their mentality is, well, at least you have access to the American dollars, or at least you have more opportunity than me. So they don't care about scamming you. Let's continue.
Having no snacks, the bullshit not having no food, the bullshit electricity.
Ma'am, okay, I ain't trying to be funny. I ain't trying to be funny because I can stand to lose some pounds myself. That's why I came on here late, y'all, because I said I got to make it to the gym before I come on this live. I'm not going to go the whole day and not go to the gym. Ma'am, you don't need no snacks. You don't need no snacks. And yes, most of the time when you move abroad, you're not going to be able to get the same type of snacks. Or if they do have American companies, most countries ban a lot of the stuff that we have in our stacks. For example, Frito-Lay sells chips here in Colombia. They don't taste like that Cheetos here don't taste like Cheetos in the United States. They don't have the same color. The color is not as vibrant because they don't allow all those dyes. They don't allow as much of that flavoring and all that kind of stuff. So like a bag of Cheetos here is not going to harm you like a bag of Cheetos in the United States. Even a bag of instant noodles here, a packet of instant noodles here, the average packet instant noodles in the United States has about between 400 and 600 calories, depending on the brand and the type. Here, a pack of instant noodles is 200 calories for the same size of instant noodles. So, ma'am, you don't need that stuff. That's why we fat over there. And I'm including myself because I'm overweight right now. It just don't look like it in person because when I'm overweight. So when you move out of the United States, you have to understand that you're supposed to be making a lifestyle change. You're supposed to be going over there and improving your health. Okay. People in other countries, yes, they have restaurants, but it's more common to cook at home. It's more common to eat things like beans and rice and chicken and eggs fresh off the farm and fruits. All that packaged food here in Colombia, if you go to the frozen food aisle, the pre-packaged food sucks. But guess what? That's great. It forces me to actually cook instead of like warming up some chicken nuggets for my daughter. We got chicken nuggets. They're not good chicken nuggets. When I'm out the country, I'm not into sweets. I don't like to eat a lot. Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Your palate should change when you move to a different country. I get it. It's a hard adjustment, especially if you didn't try to make that adjustment before you left the United States. Like I already wasn't a bad eater before I left the United States, right? My whole thing has been letting go of my one vice that I have is like letting go of things that have sugar in it, like ice cream and like cookies. It's not an everyday thing, but if you eat that enough times during the week, you're not going to lose weight. So just trying to make those adjustments before you leave so that when you get to where you're going, it's not as big of a shock.
The bullshit hot water, the bullshit what's that shit called that be coming down?
Hot water is a luxury. Hot water is not the norm around the world. Like in the United States, even in a poor neighborhood, there is hot water. There's no hot water in many of the homes in Comuna 13 here in Colombia. Here, if you get an Airbnb, you lucky to get one that got hot water. And if it has hot water, a lot of times they have it set on a weird timer so that you don't be in there too long. So it stops, after like 3 minutes, the water goes cold. Now, my apartment, the hot water stays on the whole time, right? But because their hot water heating is different here, like for example, a couple weeks ago, the hot water heater thing, this is not even the same as like a hot water heater in the United States. It's like a little wall unit. It went out, and I had to have cold water for like days until they sent a technician to come. And all I had to do was change the batteries, but I didn't know how to do it.
The bullshit animals is scorpions outside the house. It's big ass spiders. It's big ass lizards. Colorful lizards you ain't never seen before. All in.
Girl, it's the lizards. And she right. I do notice, like, yes, there are lizards in the United States, but the way these big ass lizards be getting into this apartment here, I got a resident lizard somewhere, and it's big, y'all, and it's weird colors. That thing scared me. Let me tell y'all something. As far as I'm concerned, when I see that lizard, I go mind my business. If I come out and I see that lizard on the wall, it ain't no little bitty one, too. If I see it, I turn right back around and I go to my room. You got it. You got it. I'm not. She ain't lying, and that's not just Ghana. If you go to Puerto Rico, they got big old dragon lizards. Like, yeah, you're gonna deal with. Because a lot of these places, they're not as like. I feel like in the United States, it's a little bit more developed. And it's not even just that, it has to do with climate too. In these hotter or warmer climates that are more tropical, the lizards are bigger. So yeah, it's scary. I get scared when I'm overseas. Why? I don't want to mess my stomach up. Okay, that's why you don't eat so much. You definitely can mess your stomach up. Let me tell y'all, when I first came to Colombia, I ate some Peruvian food. I went to this restaurant and had some ceviche in Medellin, close to Laureles. Y'all, I got food poisoning, and like I was in pain for a whole week. It was bad.
In the fucking room with you, sleeping with you. All the bullshit people trying to scam you when you go outside thinking you rich. So they trying to get more money off of you. I'm really trying to wrap my head around this shit. I'm really trying to wrap my head around how are Americans coming to Africa and being happy. Please comment down below. Because for me, I'm ready to go.
I think too, when you first move to a new country, there's an adjustment period. So Intelligent Hood Genius told me that she's still in Ghana. This might have been her first couple of months there. Sometimes you have to give things time to grow on you. Furthermore, there are expats over in uh Africa right now. Austin Holloman seems to love Kenya. Again, the cultures are different. So she might have just went to a country that didn't wasn't necessarily her speed, right? Uh Ethiopian culture is way different than Ghanaian culture or Nigerian culture, right? So a lot of the times it could just be the place that you move to doesn't necessarily jive with you, or you need to give it more time. I'll be honest, when I first moved to Colombia, it was kind of like because there was an adjustment period. First of all, I had to get used to the food. My stomach, I had that food poisoning incident. Then you have to get used to kind of being a little bit alone, because especially here in Colombia, people are more into their families and people that they grew up with. So it takes time. Like, Colombians don't even trust other Colombians. Once people have a circle, they're very hesitant to let people in. So people are nice, they'll talk to you on the street, but as far as building close friendships, it takes time. Am I building them here? Yes, but it's not with many people. Okay, I have like a couple of relationships, platonic relationships that I'm building right now. And I couldn't imagine moving here and not speaking Spanish. Like, I can't imagine being an immigrant, moving here and not knowing the language. And then on top of that, not having a partner. It sounds like she moved there with somebody else. I don't know what language they speak in Ghana. I believe they speak English, but they might speak something else too. I don't know.
And I always used to say, if it's up to me, it will be. And I'm going to go out to Africa and make shit happen. No, I don't want to. I want to take my businesses back to America. I want to open up shop back in America, open up my dentist office, and all the stuff that I was going to do out here in America. Steady electricity. And the only time our electricity get cut off is when we don't pay the bill. And we got it so good now, we got prepaid electricity. So if we forget to pay the bill, we put some money on that prepaid thing and it comes right back on in 2 minutes. In less than 2 minutes. This shit right here didn't come on for 14 hours yesterday. I can't deal. I love the people. Don't get me wrong. When I'm outside, I'm having fun. I love the people. But when I come back to reality, when you come
in the part of Medellin that I'm in Envigado, which is like a southern suburb. The electricity has been great here. Like if it's gone out, it literally has gone out for like a minute and then right back on, and it might be due to the rain. So here the infrastructure is actually really good. I had my water go out more times in the United States than within a year period than what I've had here. They would just turn the water off for like random reasons, right? When I was in Dallas. Here I had it happen like one time during the morning time. Somebody in the comments said she funny as hell. I'm African. Of course we don't have snacks and sodas and burgers. I grew up with 3 meals plus water. That's it. I understand her. Yeah, I mean, I get it. If that's what you're used to, it's a hard adjustment to make, but it's the best adjustment for your health.
come back home, home is where the heart is, right? When you come back home, you're supposed to feel comfortable. You're supposed to be happy. I'm not happy to live in a house where you look outside and all you see is turkeys and ducks and chickens and sheep and old malnourished cows. I'd rather go back to America and deal with the racism and the
Bruh, not the malnourished cows. That's sending me. Not the malnourished cows. Okay, hold on, she said she's married and she's with her husband. She from DC. Yeah, and I'm glad she thugged it out. I'm glad she stayed. Trust me, it's not gonna be, it's up and down. You're not gonna move and be like the entire time, never be like, well, maybe I should like I have times even now when I get a little bit frustrated, I be like, dang, I'm gonna move to another country. But most days I'm good. It has its ups and downs, just like anything else in life. Overall, I am happy about my decision. I don't regret it, but it was an adjustment period, right? All right. If y'all are just now coming in, please hit the like button. When I visit Medellin, I might pay a prostitute to teach me Spanish. Well, I don't think she's gonna turn down no money. Okay, so with that said, I'm gonna move on to my next topic, which is Tiny and Ti, and really how Tiny is just the ultimate pick me. And then we're gonna get on to Diddy because I know that's what y'all really came to hear, and I'm gonna go deep, a little bit deep with that, because I have a different angle that I'm gonna work here. Now, I want y'all to watch this interview that Zonique did. So for those of y'all who don't know who Zonique is Tiny's oldest daughter that she had from a previous relationship. She's a very pretty girl. She was in that group, the OMG Girls. I think they got the band back together. So she was doing an interview, and basically she confirmed everything that King said that we made fun of him about a couple years ago. Y'all remember when he was wilding, when he went into the Waffle House and he was cussing that Waffle House worker out, calling him broke, had his little chiclets in the camera. Yeah, so y'all know we went in on him. Then him and Tiny and Ti got into it about the way he grew up, and we were calling him spoiled. So listen to what Zonique had to say.
I would say what hurt me would be like, I'm honestly like my mom being like with Tip all the time.
Damn.
Like
Timestamp that.
not timestamp that. I feel like even now and today, like that's how it is. Like they're just tied to the hip. I don't know. I feel like kids just long to have their parents. Like I grew up in a great house. Like my grandparents are literally the reason why I am. Like, I don't take no shit, all that. But I wanted my parents.
Yeah. You know, everybody think King just came from this lavish background. He's like, nah, bro, I was in my grandmother's crib. The most. This is what he said. Like, bro, I was
him too.
And she lived in like that's what he said.
Yeah.
You were born with a silver spoon. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I believe what Zonique is saying, and some people were like, "Well, Tiny was touring and they were out here getting to the money." No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. Escape had broke up, and for a long time, Tiny wasn't doing anything until they started doing the family hustle. And then she kind of got back turned with Escape once the kids had got older. But I don't agree, as a single woman that has a daughter, I don't agree with a woman dropping her kids off with grandparents for her to be running in behind a man. The grandparents are there for date nights. That's it. The grandparents is there for once a week date night. If your man has to go on tour, you shouldn't be, and you have children at home, young children at home, you shouldn't be following in behind him all on tour and leaving your children at home. I'm sorry, or leaving your children with a grandparent. Why? Because she couldn't stop Tip from cheating. Remember when T.I. was messing with Bernice Burgos? Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember when they had that whole little beef, and then Tiny went and called herself trying to be out and about with Floyd Mayweather? See, Tiny is one of those women who think that, here's the thing. This is what I noticed. I'm not going to say Tiny is ugly. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that Tiny doesn't have a Hollywood look. And if you remember how T.I. used to look back in the day, he was at the top of the game, and he was very handsome. He was very handsome. I'll say that. I feel like this is a situation where Tiny felt like she got the best that she was going to get, so she was willing to accept anything. So y'all remember when them girls came out and said that T.I. and Tiny were drugging him? All of these women would be way prettier than Tiny that came out and said it. And they all would talk about how Tiny would just be mean and kind of rough handle them during them little, freak offs. Because she got to sit here and watch her man really do it with who he really wants. T.I. just got with her because she is the anchor woman. I've talked about this before. The woman who has low self-esteem and ain't going nowhere. Period. Now, that's fine. He a rapper. He's supposed to cheat. I mean, I'm not going to say he's supposed to cheat, but it's very highly likely he going to cheat. Yeah. It's highly likely he going to cheat. But even then, there are women who are with rappers who are not leaving their children to run in behind the rappers. Or there are women who are with rappers who are not engaging in freak offs because they feel like that's what they got to do to keep the man and to keep the man happy. Because even when they was doing the freak offs, T.I. was still cheating. I wouldn't even agree to that. He was cheating anyway. He was still cheating. So you might as well just let him go cheat by himself instead of being present, watching, being angry, and roughhousing the girls. Because you mad. Because you see what your man really like and what your man really want. Okay? You might as well just stay at home with your children, if that's the case. And as a mother, I don't agree with her leaving her kids with her parents or T.I.'s grandparents for her to be running in behind T.I. all these years. I don't agree with it. So it's really sad, especially coming from like a daughter. It's really sad to hear a girl saying, all I wanted was my mother. And it didn't even have to be that way. Because for a long time, Tiny wasn't doing nothing. She could have sat at home with her kids and let T.I. pay the bills and go cheat in peace by himself. Hey, Skinny, I'm late. I saw Diddy in the title. Mariah, let me... What? Boy, stop! You acting up today. Y'all please hit the like button if you're just now coming in. So y'all remember this argument that King had with T.I.?
He just wanted it to get
to make him look better. He say he know not true. Silver up.
we
used to have to come to my grandma's house because I'm getting in the fight.
You cried like a baby to go to your grandma's house.
Every day.
You used to hold your breath.
I I would have put up nowhere. You ain't had me put up.
So he's saying you beg like a granny, like a baby to go to your granny house. So basically, King is saying I was raised in the hood with my grandparents. T.I. is saying no, we took you there because you wanted to go there. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. It could be that when King was so used to his grandmother that when he went over to his daddy and them house, and got mad, he was like, take me back to my granny house. I could see that happening. You know, yes, there is a difference between somebody being in the hood because they gotta be in the hood versus somebody who like is just getting dropped off. But at the end of the day, clearly he is a product of his environment. Clearly he was in that environment more than he was with his parents, right? And that's evident based on his ratchet antics. Now, I commend him. He's calmed down since he's had his son, and he's definitely calmed down since now you could see that him and his father are kind of like mending their relationship. But I'm gonna blame a lot of this on Tiny. I ain't even gonna blame it on Tip because at the end of the day, he was the breadwinner for the family. He was the one going and getting to the bag. There's absolutely no reason why Tiny should have had that level of pick me in her that she neglected her children emotionally to go running behind a man. And you have parents like this who will be like, oh, but we took care of you and we provided for you. But like, where were you in the small moments? Like, where were you when I emotionally needed you? Or where were you when I wanted to spend time with you? And it's like you were gone by choice. You didn't have to be. You was gone because you was running in behind a man. And I don't think women should ever neglect their children to run in behind a man, baby. Especially when she could have had that same man just sitting at the house. He wasn't going to go nowhere. So I don't understand. And even to this day, they like two peas in a pod. You can't separate them for nothing. She always up under him. To me, that's toxic. And even the daughter sees that. So I don't agree with that. Now, with that said, let's move on to other things. Now, the P. Diddy trial has officially kicked off, y'all. This is the trial of the century. It's long awaited. And I'm interested to see whose name gets brought up. I don't know if we will ever see what was on those tapes. And honestly and truly, if it was a situation where people really were getting drugged against their will, we don't need to see that, honestly. But I'm more interested to know who the willing participants were. And if there were children involved, I want to know who was all involved with these kids. Okay. The industry been real quiet lately. Real quiet. Give me a second. Now, I'm sorry. I feel like trying to make sure my chat is caught up. Now, I was watching Tisa Tells. Y'all know that's my girl. I'm going to pull her up right now. And she was basically saying how Diddy and them were trying to. I was watching Tisa Tell and Nancy Grace. You know, she messy. And she's on YouTube. You know it's bad when the white folks are covering you. Like, you know it's serious when the white people are suckling their teeth and waiting on your demise. Okay? So I was watching Nancy Grace, and she was talking about how, like, basically they offered Diddy a plea deal in the umpteenth hour, and he declined. Now, they did not disclose how much time they offered him, but I feel like this is a situation where it's an all or nothing. He can't. You get what I'm trying to say? It's like he can either win big or he can lose really big. Ain't no plea deal in a situation like this. Okay. So I understand why he didn't take the plea deal. He has some of the best lawyers in the game. Some people think he just might get off. I was listening to For No Fame, and For No Fame was like, the devil don't never die. So who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? We haven't seen all the evidence. We don't know what the jury is going to see in that courtroom. They're in the process of jury selection right now. So I want to pull up this video that I watched of Tisa Tells before I go another route.
I don't know. I did an amazing live where I do say so for myself, where I went over a lot of this, but let me just give you guys a quick 5-minute refresher, okay? Diddy's team begged for a gag order. Not only is it the attorneys, the feds, not only is it all the witnesses, but it's all the lawyers of the witnesses. If you guys don't know, the people that are testifying against Diddy and for Diddy all have attorneys. They have done a complete media blackout. You're not allowed to talk about what you saw, what you heard. You're not allowed to say things out in public because it might mess up and tamper the jury. And Diddy could potentially use that for a mistrial, a new trial, or all this other stuff, okay? So the feds don't want that. Oddly enough, Diddy actually does want that. But on top of that, Diddy and his hypocrisy are front and center. And the feds said, you better stop playing with this. Again, Diddy is trying to do that cute-ish he did last time, where he demanded there be a gag order. And then he, via his social media, his kids' TikToks and Instagram, was running a social media campaign trying to make sure that they were the only ones that got a message out to the jury. Now, I know what you're saying. Diddy already got caught doing that. Would he be dumb enough to do it again? Baby, did he do it? Yes, he did. Diddy is dumb.
So, yeah, he been trying to put out little subliminals. They've been trying to sway public opinion. But, I mean, I haven't heard not one person say that they think that Diddy is innocent in real life. In real life. I mean, even all up and down in the shade room comments on YouTube, like, normally you would have kind of like a split, or you'd have people kind of like, they always trying to take down the black man, kind of angle. But here's the thing. We've been heard about Diddy. I remember hearing about Diddy when I was a kid. So this is not anything new to us. This is not like somebody dropped a bombshell on us. It's not even a situation like, y'all remember with Bill Cosby, he had such this squeaky clean dad image that when all the information came out on him, it was like super jarring. And we were like, not Bill Cosby, not Mr. Pull Your Pants Up Bill Cosby. But like with Diddy, it's like, okay, yeah, we know we already knew he was nasty. We've already known that he has a bad reputation in the music industry because none of his artists prosper. They'll put out one or two albums and then they're broke and destitute. The group is no longer together. Nothing that's associated with him prospers. So he's had a very bad reputation for a very long time. It's just he always kept these different business deals going to keep that mogul persona up. But like none of his artists really just prosper like that. Then he always kind of had the shadow looming over his head about what happened to Big and potentially Pac. Let's see. Oh, but she kind of crashing out on Jay-Z and Diddy and having way too much faith in phony Busby. Yeah, I've seen her. I don't know. I don't have an opinion either which way on Tony Busby. I've heard different things. What's up, SL? It's good to see you, brother. 11:11. Is that what time you coming in? Okay, I'm an hour behind. Blessings. I love For No Fame. He's consistent. I like the hustle in him. I love For No Fame.
Dumb enough to do it again. Only this time in the middle of court, it got called out. So what was the scene? Okay. Diddy has 8 lawyers, but only 7 of them have made an appearance in court. What does that mean? When the judge come in and they say, all rise, right? They'll be like, hello, Your Honor, Tisa Tells making an appearance for Sean Diddy Combs, blah, 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 blah. The judge says, okay, and that's the way you get. You make a appearance in court, which means the court officially sees you as their attorney, meaning any gag orders or any orders that the judge may give the defense or give the prosecution, you must abide by. Simple enough, right? This is where Diddy thought he got over. So what did Diddy do? Diddy actually has 8 lawyers. One of them is Mark Garagos. Now, Mark Garagos' daughter, I believe it's Tinny Garagos, is currently on Diddy's team.
That's a lot of lawyers.
Diddy has finally gotten that unicorn of a lawyer. Diddy was begging, offering north of $2 million, $3 million for a black female attorney. Diddy finally got one to represent him. It's one of the girls that was co-counsel.
You know what? I hope people don't fall for the bait. I hope people don't fall for the bait. I have absolutely no problem with black women defending black men when they are innocent or when there is reason to believe that they are innocent. I have no problem with that. What I don't like is people using black women as a PR stunt or to garner sympathy. Now, me personally, I don't understand. Well, I guess I do understand. Okay, $2 million, that's a lot of money, right? But my whole thing is I hope the public or the jury doesn't fall for it. You know, they see this black woman who is the face of this black man, you know, and he's on his like redemption arc and like, no, I don't like it. So this is him trying to, you know, have that image of a black woman defending the black man on TV to, you know, sway public opinion, to sway the jury opinion. And I hope people see right through that, because at the end of the day, the women that he hurt were black women, period. And black men and black boys and black girls. These are the people he hurt the most. That's probably the majority of his accusers are probably black folks. Okay, so no, I hope that don't work this time around. It might. I'm starting to learn, folks, they a little bit slow.
To the Brian whatever in the Young Thug case. You remember Brian, Young Thug's lawyer that got him off? She was co-counsel. She's very thorough. She knows what she's doing. She apparently decides she wants to represent monsters, but whatever, right? Defense attorneys are going to defend. So back to the subject, okay? So he has the black woman lawyer. Diddy at this point has 8 lawyers. However, at the lawyer's desk, right, which is divided by that little gate, there's only 7. The 8th lawyer, Mark Garagos, who has done a lot of work for Diddy in the past, so he's not a new lawyer, is sitting behind that counsel, just in the stands, okay? In open court, whenever they get new information or what's going on, in open court, Mark Garagos is getting up, walking toward the 7 lawyers in the lawyer seats, because you know the gate blocks it. I'm going to call it the pulpit, but it doesn't matter, right? Walking up to them, and he's giving them advice. They're like, come here. They're conferring with them. They're talking about everything. The prosecution finally said, Your Honor, no, enough of this. You can't do this. Diddy was like, oh, what? Why not? And the prosecution called them out on their mess. What is their mess? You guys, by making sure that Mark Garagos, okay, has not officially made an appearance. He is a consultant, but he's been giving access to Diddy's whole file like he is a main lawyer. You're getting all the benefits of being lead counsel, but you're not getting any of the detractions, which is being under the judge's gag order. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you, it's real world consequences.
I think that Diddy has still not come to the point where people realize the games he plays. Just like before they actually went and arrested him, he was trying to tamper with witnesses, and they was like, oh, baby, no, we got to come in and get you. He's threatening folks, calling folks 11 times. I don't think it's registered to him yet that his old games are not going to work for him the way that they used to.
Gag order got passed Friday. Sunday, Mark Garagos on his podcast with Harvey Levine, the owner, founder, and current person head of TMZ. They have a podcast called Two Angry Men. It's supposed to be a play for that legal drama 12 Angry Men about the jurors and court cases. Instead, they call it Two Angry Men because they're men, they're angry. Okay, yeah, right? The point of the matter is, remember when I said that TMZ has very Diddy slanted coverage? Maybe that's why it is. It's all about connections, not justice. Harvey actually runs on if people get acquitted. But forget about that. He was on Harvey.
That's why you have to be careful of the content that you consume. It's nothing wrong with consuming content from TMZ or the Shade Room or these different media sites, but you always have to question, how are they benefiting here? Because a lot of these mainstream blogs or gossip sites, they're on payroll. Okay? We saw that during the election last year with the Shade Room, and the Shade Room is still on payroll, period. Okay? I don't trust the Shade Room about nothing. Okay? Except for gossip, and then I need to see a video, but then they be editing and doing all kind of funny stuff. So you have to, it's okay to listen to it, but then you gotta cross-reference the information with other things, and then make a decision.
Or their podcast, and he talked about the Cassie video. He talked about the way, I actually think this is just nothing but propaganda. I think this, I think that, and kicking the prosecution's back in. The prosecution heard that and they said, enough. You are making statements because you have access to everything we have. So you think because you are a celebrity lawyer, when you talk, people listen, and you are besties with one of the biggest people in mainstream media, Harvey from TMZ, the owner, operator, runner, and the one that runs everything, they are saying, yeah, no, you cannot do this. We see what you're going to do. You're trying to get around the gag order. You think you have effectively silenced the witness, their attorneys, even the prosecutors, while you're going to have Mark Garagos, who is your legal counsel, right? And let's not forget that's important, because right now there's a lot of stuff that is...
Okay, I'm going to pause that. Y'all, I'm going to post the video in the comments so that y'all can watch the rest of it. But basically, she was saying how once Diddy started watching the jury pool, because they're doing jury selection now, he told the judge, look, I'm a little bit nervous, and he asked to go to the bathroom for a minute. So again, I mean, we can speculate. Honestly and truly, we don't know what's gonna happen. Me personally, I believe the allegations. We saw the footages. We saw the footages with Cassie. I think this man is a monster and he should be locked up for a very, very, very long time. But I also don't think that he was able to do all this by himself. So my whole thing is, if there are co-conspirators, they need to get got too. Period. If there were people who were doing stuff to underage children with him, they need to get got too. Okay, so we will see how this plays out. Now, I want to bring LeBron James into this. And it was crazy because I was watching Nancy Grace and they made it a point to be like, yeah, y'all know LeBron James, Diddy's best friend, hosted the Met Gala. And I'm going to bring Kevin Gates into the mix. I'm going to tie it all back in though. Okay. Now, he recently spoke on LeBron James and Savannah James' relationship. Now, if y'all don't know, Kevin Gates is kind of on this high because he and Brittany Renner have made their relationship public. Now, as far as I know, he's still married to Drika. I understand that he's Muslim, but this is the United States. You cannot have more than one wife legally. So they are saying they are married in the United States. I don't know if they're legally married. I mean, they can't be. He's still married to Drika, right? So I don't know what type of spiritual ceremony they've had, but in their mind, they are legally married. and they are showing up at all type of press events and interviews together. Matter of fact, let me pull it up, baby. They are just so giddy. And you know, it's like they're going through this honeymoon stage of finally being able to be out with their relationship. Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna pull it up. Hold on. I thought I saved it. Let me go on the shade room. The shade room is so messy. I be on there. Give me 1 second. And y'all tell me, what do y'all think about the whole Kevin Gates, Brittany Renner situation? I mean, if they like it, I love it. A lot of people are upset with Brittany because he's still married to Drika, but Drika doesn't seem to care at all. She don't say nothing about them. She don't really talk about them. Her whole thing has been, oh, we're best friends. We've known each other since we were kids, so we're always going to be best friends. Girl, she do not be caring. So I don't understand why people are upset with Brittany Renner. Hold on. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
So Islam has made my life better in every single category. And like my husband says, the closer you get to God, the more you get. And literally in every category of my life, I mean, dreams happen, like miracles happen once in a while every day, you know? So it's been really beautiful. It's changed my life for the better.
I'd love to hear that. I mean, of course, Kevin is here supporting you tonight. How does it feel to have him stand behind you? And what is it about him that you were like, he's the one for me?
His name echoes in every chamber of my heart. And
not that his name echoes in every chamber of my heart. Brittany, I saw the video of when you first met Kevin Gates. It's been lust from day one. It's been lust. And like, Brittany Renner seems like a very smart girl, and Kevin Gates is an Aquarius. So, and I'm a Gemini. You know, we get along with Aquariuses. We vibe out. Okay. Aquarius people are very, very smart. Okay. With that said, because I'm a Gemini, my fellow Gemini male peers and the Aquarians, they can't run game on me like they can do these other women. When is y'all gonna learn that you are no match? I don't care how smart you think you are as a woman. You are no intellectual match for an Aquarius man or a Gemini male, period. They're gonna have you up in your feelings every single time. They're gonna have you in la la land every single time. You're gonna be so amazed and impressed by everything that's coming out their mouth. These men are natural born pimps. Okay.
it's hard to describe a love like that. All I can say is that I'm with the person that I quite literally dreamed of. And to be able to just wake up next to him and spend time with him, even to have him here behind me, it's like so surreal. I'm like, I love him. So yeah, he's just the most beautiful person inside and out that I've ever met. And I'm just so thankful that Allah blessed me with him.
You know what? I will say this. I'm going to say this. I'm happy that she's happy. Like, honestly and truly, because like, if we think of the space that Brittany Renner was in, like, you know, not too long ago, it seemed like she was really hurt and heartbroken having to break up with her baby father. I think she was kind of trying to reconcile getting older and trying to change, but also being pigeonholed into a career where she's hypersexualized because, I mean, that's how she got on. So, I mean, I'm always going to applaud somebody changing their ways if it's genuine. Now, a lot of people are saying the only reason why she turned to Islam was for Kevin Gates. But my whole thing is, sometimes the reason why we do something isn't right, but that doesn't mean that the path isn't legitimate and that the change cannot be genuine, right? So I'm happy for them in terms of that. Now, let's bring up what Kevin Gates had to say about LeBron. Stick with me. I'm going to connect this back to Diddy, okay? One second. Let me make sure y'all can see. Okay, here we go.
I'm like, man, he one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
Right.
But I wouldn't want to trade places with him. And they was like, why not? Why you wouldn't want to play? I say, because I don't like the way Savannah look at LeBron. I like the way them white women look at LeBron. Like when soon as he walk out there, they just be like, oh.
Y'all, Kevin Gates was being messy here. We think that he was just giving his opinion. He was dropping major tea. And I don't know what's happened between them behind the scenes. But if you've worked in certain industries, if you've been around certain girls and you've been around the club scene like I have, this is outside of this internet YouTube stuff. Word on the curb for a very long time has been that LeBron James cheats on Savannah James with white women and Latina women. Oh, see, y'all thought that he was this upstanding family man who wasn't doing no cheating. No, it has been well known around certain spaces and in the industry that LeBron James runs around with non-black women. Which, I mean, to me, the only problem there is that he's married. I don't care. I don't care that Savannah is not his type. I don't care. Okay. That's not the problem. The problem is that he's married. So when Kevin Gates threw that out here, and mind you, they're friends, they've been around the same circle, they've been around the same party. I feel like Kevin Gates was trying to put it out there and basically send a secret message to LeBron, like, you know that I know. You know I know where the bodies are buried. So keep it cute. Because when you get on the internet and say something like this, you got to know that the friendship is over. You got to know that y'all not gonna never be cool again. So again, this is an Aquarius man. He is very strategic in what he does. Don't think he was just sitting on here on live talking like this about his so-called friend and that there was no reason for it. Because again, this is stuff I've been. Have y'all heard that? Y'all put it in the chat. Am I the only one? Let me see. Is my chat not refreshing? Sometimes my chat don't be refreshing. Hold on. Guys, please, y'all hit the like button if y'all are just now coming in. Y'all ain't said nothing in 30 minutes. That can't be it. Okay. Somebody put a 1 in the chat for me.
Oh, they be dicked out. But it's like I noticed when he go do the handshake with the main player on his team, which is that, it's like, you act like I'm bothering you, bitch. Like, I'm the greatest player in the world, one of them. Like top 5, top 10, I'm one of them. And I'm in a place like talking about what if you had LeBron.
Honestly and truly, I don't pay attention to LeBron and Savannah's relationship like that. I mean, he might have noticed that Savannah treat him like he's regular. I mean, to be honest, they've been with each other for like over 20 years now. Okay, they got grown kids at this point. To her, he is regular. She not waking up thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm with the greatest basketball player. Yes, people that don't live with him and don't know him are going to be in awe of him. But again, I don't think he said that without reason. I think he knew exactly what he was doing. Okay. Then he went to the game. Now, y'all remember when LeBron James ran down on Stephen A. Smith about speaking on his son, and all he did was tell the truth? We all know that his son shouldn't be playing in the NBA. And that is Stephen A. Smith's job. He is a sports commentator. He didn't say anything disrespectful. Okay. So we all seen how he ran down with his big old tall self, ran down on little Stephen A. Smith, telling him to keep his name out his mouth. Well, guess this is how I knew it was beef. This is how I knew it was beef. This is what Kevin Gates did.
This nigga pulled up to your job, courtside, where you can't miss him, and was entertained by you, showing you who the peasant was. Like, did you care?
Now, LeBron James put a tweet out before the game saying, "Kings don't concern themselves with the opinions of peasants. Where to next, queen? Let's get it." So he called the man a peasant. The man spoke on him and his wife's situation, which to me is worse than him speaking on Bronny, because, you know, he has to speak on Bronny. He's an athlete. He's in the league, right? There's no reason for him, for Kevin Gates to have spoke on his wife publicly, especially if they were friends.
That was disrespectful as fuck. Like, Gates the ultimate troll. Like that was some ultimate troll shit. I can't lie. Straight the fuck up. LeBron, you the perfect example of niggas know who to play with and not to. That's what the fuck we seen. Cause it only took you but 2 seconds to go over there and check that shit without jeopardizing shit. Straight the fuck up. And even if you did jeopardize it, so what?
Y'all, I hate the way that Kevin Gates is sitting with his legs open like that.
You finna jeopardize it with Stephen A. This nigga pulled up.
Y'all, I brought this up to say that I think that there's going to be a lot of information in the coming future that's going to come out about LeBron James. Again, I've been hearing his name on the low. It's been on the low, on the hush, in the streets. I've been heard about LeBron James. Then we seen LeBron James say that ain't no party like a Diddy party. Y'all think that's family man LeBron James was hanging out with Diddy all these years and going to these parties and he ain't never did nothing with nobody? And I'm not saying, this is all alleged, I'm not saying that LeBron James swings the other way, but don't think that just because a man is big and tall and play basketball that he's not catching or pitching. Y'all should have learned that from Dwight Howard. Y'all, every time I see Dwight Howard and think about all the stuff that man said against him in that lawsuit, I'm like, now Dwight, you too big. You too big to be engaging in these kind of shenanigans. It really irritates me, right? With that said, I do think that Kevin Gates was trying to drop a dime on LeBron. And I do think that we will be hearing more about LeBron as this trial progresses. With that said, guys, it's been real. I got to get off of here. I got to get up at 3 a.m. to start work. Make sure that y'all hit the like button on the way out and be looking out for my website, which is coming soon. In a couple weeks, I'll roll it out. With that said, y'all have a good evening. Goodbye.